Rising house prices, new bureaucratic challenges, and the end of golden visas are pushing many expats away from living in Portugal. Portugal has become home to thousands of expats and foreigners over the years, and many more digital nomads, expats, and freelancers are looking to settle there. Unfortunately, the reality is, no matter how good a place is, it can't be home for everyone. While some are making Portugal home, others are leaving. According to the Portugal News, about 31,000 expats left Portugal in 2022, while in 2023, 1 in 5 American expats left. What factors might be prompting some to leave? In this video, we'll look at the top 10 reasons why expats or foreigners are moving out of Portugal. Housing cost and poor housing facility. If there's any constant criticism of Portugal, it is the poor housing facilities and the high prices you must pay for them. Many apartments and houses have been built to basic standards, which means they can be bad at retaining heat, blocking out noise, and preventing mold. Houses aren't well insulated and don't have central heating, which means that it's easy to rack up a big electricity bill using an electric heater. Property prices have increased rapidly. Sure, there are ruins in places like Castelo Branco for less than 50,000 euros, but most people want to live near the coast or near Lisbon or Porto, and those places are more expensive. And when they can't afford it, they leave. 2. They struggled with the downsides of Portugal. Let's start with the bureaucracy. This is a common challenge across Europe, but Portugal is particularly difficult when it comes to bureaucracy. Getting things like a driving license changed or an appointment with AIMA, formerly known as SEF, can take months and even years. How about integration? Portugal is already a difficult place to integrate into, especially if you don't speak Portuguese. And if you don't, you should consider downloading the app we recommend to learn Portuguese fast and enjoy 7 days free of charge. Link in the description. Plus, the low pace of life. It becomes specifically hard, making the slow pace of life more of a downside than an upside when waiting to get something done. Let's not forget animal cruelty. Although attitudes towards animals are improving, it's still not uncommon to see animals chained up or left on balconies, which can be very distressing for many people. Bullfighting, while not as common or deadly as in Spain, is still a cultural tradition. 3. End of golden visas. Portugal is no longer appealing to foreigners who want to move to the country since the government has ended golden visas in the Mais Habitação program to lower house prices. There are reports from various services and consultants pointing to a decrease in the number of foreigners looking to live in Portugal. In fact, the Get Golden Visa platform registered a 37% drop in the number of inquiries from Americans in the first quarter of 2023 compared to the same period in the previous year, which reflects the drop in interest in living in our country. Honestly, many expats are letting go of the American dream of buying a house and living in Portugal. They are beginning to look to other destinations, such as Spain and France, to re-establish their lives. Others are even packing their bags and returning to the USA. 4. Inability to adjust to the culture. Adjusting to life in a new country is always challenging, but it's especially difficult when the culture is vastly different from your own. This is a common dilemma for expats, particularly those coming from America. Portugal's laid-back lifestyle and emphasis on tradition can starkly contrast to a more fast-paced and individualistic environment. Social norms and the importance of community may make it difficult for some to fully integrate. Portugal has a strong emphasis on preserving traditions and fostering a sense of community, which may not suit everyone. You might find the slower pace and emphasis on tradition less stimulating than anticipated. Would you enjoy living where you can't form a deep connection with people around you? Forming deep connections with locals and finding communities that align with your interests and values can be challenging, potentially leading to feelings of isolation despite being around others. How about the food? Portugal boasts amazing cuisines that are a wonderful blend of Mediterranean and Atlantic influences. Fresh seafood, flavorful spices, and hearty stews take center stage. Not everyone enjoys these dishes, and some find it difficult to adjust to them as their bodies can't even digest them properly. Food is one of the essentials of life. Once a person has difficulty with the popular food in a place, they may not be able to stay there for long. Most expats miss their local dishes and favorite meals, and even when available in Portugal, they are pricey and not easily accessible. Also, not everyone is adventurous when it comes to food. They are mindful of what they eat and are too cautious to try new foods. All this makes adjusting to the Portuguese culture extremely difficult for many. By the way, if you're finding it challenging to adjust to life in Portugal and need guidance from someone with more experience, we offer personalized one-on-one consultations. During these sessions, we utilize our expertise and knowledge to answer all your questions about living in Portugal and making money online. If you're interested in scheduling a call with us, find our email address in the description. 5. They discovered Portugal wasn't that cheap. Portugal is often advertised as cheap, particularly on YouTube, where influencers will tell you how cheap a cup of coffee is or how little a trip to the doctor costs. Unfortunately, that's not always the reality. While there are tax regimes that can reduce taxes for some people, and it varies considerably from individual to individual, which is why you need to speak to a good accountant. These rarely exempt someone from paying tax entirely, despite what's said online. And while a cup of coffee might cost you as little as 50 cents, other things like petrol, electricity, and cars are all much more expensive in Portugal than they are in other European countries. Even groceries and eating out are now more expensive than they were a year or two ago. 6. Poor accessibility to healthcare. It's no secret that Portugal has one of the best healthcare systems, offering free medical services to citizens and legal residents. However, accessing any of the services is not a walk in the park. Oftentimes, when you are not taken in an ambulance or in an extremely critical state, you may not get a doctor's appointment easily, causing many to leave Portugal to return to their home country for proper health care. The language barrier also plays a major role in expats leaving Portugal to seek healthcare services elsewhere. Patients want to communicate effectively with their doctors, and since there are mostly native doctors in the country, this can make it difficult for expats to build trust with them, which is crucial for successful treatment. Additionally, some expats might need specialized treatment for their medical conditions, making it necessary for them to leave Portugal to get the best care available. Medical practices in Portugal are also different from those in other countries, and not everyone can adapt to these differences. 7. Language barrier. English is widely spoken in Portugal, especially in major tourist destinations like Lisbon and Porto. However, outside these hubs, proficiency in Portuguese becomes increasingly important for daily life. While English is common in tourist areas, it's less prevalent in daily life outside major cities. This means navigating administrative tasks, professional obligations, and daily interactions can be challenging for those who don't speak Portuguese. Not only for English speakers, but also for speakers of other languages. If you don't speak English and still don't understand Portuguese, it might be difficult to stay in Portugal. For someone who enjoys language learning, this might be an exciting opportunity. However, for others who struggle with language acquisition, the difficulties can lead to frustration and ultimately influence their decision to stay in Portugal. 8. Poor transport system outside major cities. While Portugal boasts a reputation for affordable public transportation, it has limitations. Accessibility is primarily concentrated in major cities, leaving expats in smaller towns reliant on personal vehicles. Not many of them have the luxury of owning their own personal vehicles. Even within cities, overcrowding during peak hours and occasional breakdowns can cause frustration for commuters. Additionally, some expats find the overall quality of service to be below their expectations. Opting for taxis might make them pay more, as taxi drivers inflate their prices during rush hour. Also, some taxi drivers don't speak English, and the few who do can't speak fluently, which often makes it difficult to enjoy the service, especially during long trips. Portugal might present a different challenge for those who prefer the freedom of a car. The cost of purchasing and maintaining a vehicle can be higher than in other European countries. This can be a significant factor for expats accustomed to a more car-dependent lifestyle. Overall, transportation within Portugal does not give expats the best experience, which might limit their potential for exploring the country. 9. High tax rates. Tax considerations are an important factor most people don't overlook when considering where to live. For Portugal, this is also non-negotiable. Expats who reside in Portugal for less than 183 days benefit from a tax exemption. However, exceeding that time frame makes them liable for taxes on their global income, with rates ranging from 13.8% to 48% depending on residency status. Non-residents only pay taxes on income earned within Portugal, subject to a flat 25% rate. Additional taxes like property tax and capital gains tax also apply to non-residents. There are also some charges expats pay that's just too much for many to cope with. While Portugal offers tax regimes that reduce the burden for foreigners, the overall tax structure can be complex for some expats, potentially influencing their decision to stay. Many miss their loved ones. Many expats, particularly those who live alone, eventually deal with missing loved ones back home. The distance from friends and family can take a toll, especially during holidays and significant life events like birthdays and anniversaries. This longing, coupled with potential adjustments to climate, lifestyle, and food, intensifies their feelings of homesickness and influences their decision to leave Portugal to reunite with loved ones. So, before moving to Portugal, consider the impact of being away from your support network. If feasible, plan for regular visits or explore the possibility of relocating with loved ones. This can significantly ease the transition and help you feel more connected during your time in Portugal. Some other reasons expats might choose to leave Portugal are personal, like not wanting to retire in a foreign country, generally not enjoying life in a foreign land, quest to travel to other countries of the world, emergency, and many other personal considerations. Despite all these, Portugal still remains a desirable place for most expats. While the country offers undeniable beauty and charm, a successful transition requires careful consideration of both the pros and cons. Researching the realities of daily life, like language barriers, job opportunities, living conditions, and cost of living, can help you create realistic expectations and make an informed decision about moving to Portugal. This will help you navigate your stay in Portugal successfully without feeling the need to leave prematurely. That's why we recommend you watch this video and playlist. Click now, and I'll see you there. Ciao!